All right, let's start on number 11. So now we need to find the equation of line B, which is perpendicular to line A and passes through 3, 7. So we know that the slopes of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals. So the slope of line A is negative 3 over 1. It doesn't look like a 1. We're going to flip that upside down for B and make it positive. So 1/3. Now we're going to use the point. Y equals 1/3 x plus b. We know the slope. We're going to use this point. 7 equals 1/3 times 3 over 1 plus b. We're going to cross cancel, and we're left with 1. We're going to subtract 1 from both sides. So b is 6. Here are the two pieces of information we need. There we go. Number 12. Find the equation of line B, which is perpendicular to line A and passes through 2, 4. Okay, so A is negative 1/2. We know that slopes of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals or opposite reciprocals. We're going to flip it upside down and make it positive. So B, the slope is 2. Let's plug these points in to get your new y-intercept. 4 equals 2 times 2 plus b. Then I'm going to subtract 4, so b is 0. So that's the origin. So our equation is y equals 2 because we don't need to write down the origin. All right, number 13. So determine if the following sets of lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. You guys don't have the graph. So what you really need to do is make sure it's in slope-intercept form, and you need to compare the slopes. So here's the slope for line A and line B. They're the same, so we know that parallel lines have the same slope. That's same slope is how you justify your answer. You say the slopes are the same. All right. So remember, parallel, perpendicular are neither one of those things. So if we look at the slopes, we have 3/4 and negative 3/4. Well, one's negative, but this one isn't flipped upside down, so this is neither. They're not the same, and they're not negative reciprocals. All right, let's look at 15. The slope is 3/4 for A, 4/3 for B. It's a reciprocal, but not the opposite reciprocal. So this one is neither also. They're not the same, and they're not opposite reciprocals. So let's look at 16. So we have 3/4 as a slope for A, negative 4/3 for B. So this is the opposite reciprocal. It is flipped upside down and the opposite sign. So these are perpendicular lines. And the slopes are opposite reciprocals. Okay, moving right along. 2 more. So this one is 3. A is slope of 3. B is negative 3. They're not reciprocals, they're opposites, but they're not opposite reciprocals, so this is neither. And finally, number 18, A is 3, B is 3. The same slopes makes them parallel. We can write same slopes. Is that it, or do we have more? That's it. Oh, no, we have more. I lied. 19. So we have 3 for A, negative 1/3. That is reciprocals and opposite signs, so these are perpendicular. 20, we have 3 and 1/3. They're reciprocals, but not opposite reciprocals, so it's neither one of those. They're not the same, and they're not opposite reciprocal. 21, line A is a half. Now we have to move this around to slope-intercept form. The second one here. So I have 3y equals negative 6x plus 18. We're going to divide each side by 3. So y is negative 2 plus negative 2x plus 6. So your slope is negative 2 here and 1/2, which is opposite reciprocal, so these are perpendicular. 22. We got to get these both there. So let's subtract 4x. We have to put them into slope-intercept form. So I have negative 2y equals negative 4x minus 6. Divide by 2. I'm going to go up here. Let's divide by negative 2. Y is equal to 2x plus 3. So my slope is 2. Down here, we got a little bit more work. We got to distribute. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 8. So I'm going to add 6x. Add 6x. So I have y equals 2x plus 8. So these are both 2. So that makes them parallel because they have the same slope. All right, let's go on to this next part. We got to do a little work here. We have to use those 2 points to find the slope of each set of points, and then we can tell if they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So I'm going to use the wine glass formula. So I'm going to take 3 minus 1 over 2 minus negative 3, which gives me 2/5 for this one. Let's label them A and B. Now I have 0 minus 5 over negative 1 minus negative 3, which gives me 5/2. Negative 5/2. So they're flipped over, one's negative, so they're negative reciprocals. So these are perpendicular. 24. I have negative 3 minus negative 1 over negative 1 minus negative 3. These are plus. So I have negative 2 over 2, which gives me a slope of negative 1. Now I have negative 1 minus 2 over negative 4 minus negative 1, which gives me negative 3 over negative 3, which gives me 1. So these are negative reciprocals, so it's perpendicular. 25. 1 minus 8 over negative 1 minus 1 gives me 7 over negative 2. Or negative 7 over 2, sorry. So that's 7/2. 4 minus 7 over 2 minus 0 gives me negative 3 over 2. So no relationship, so these are neither. 3 more. 6 minus 0 over 1 minus 2 gives me 6 over negative 1 or negative 6. 4 minus 3 over 7 minus 1 gives me 1 over 6. Opposite reciprocals, so these are perpendicular. Here I have 4 minus 0 over negative 2 minus negative 3, which gives me 4 over 1. Here I have negative 5 minus negative 1 over 1. So the second one is negative 5 minus negative 1 over 1 minus 2, which gives me negative 4 over negative 1. Oh my goodness. Positive 4, positive 4. So these are parallel. Okay, the last one. 7 minus 4 over 3 minus negative 3 gives me 3 over 9, which is 1/3. Now I have 6 minus 2 over negative 2 minus 4, which gives me 4 over negative 6, which is negative 1/3. So one's negative, one's positive, but they're not flipped. They're not reciprocal. So they're not the same either, so this is neither. All right, that's it.